I promise the wrestling stuff will end quickly, but I like nerd stuff, and wrestling is pretty much nerd stuff. CM Punk came back to the WWE in a turn of events that nobody really expected, least of all myself. I'm going to be honest, I'm not a CM Punk fan. I didn't really want him here. But you know what, I'll try to be as objective as possible with this. And let's begin. What's in the future for CM Punk? You see, many people are rightfully speculating that it's going to be Seth Rollins against CM Punk, thanks to the whole way Seth acted when Punk's music hit and he was there and basking in the fans. And that is quite possible, but the important aspect is how do we get there? Because you see, I think it's not a good idea to just go full out yet. I don't think a feud like that should just be thrown out there like it's an AEW match on Rampage or something. But we need to be a little bit smart with how things happen. And here's how I think they would happen. And this involves a feed me more aspect. Now, no, I'm not talking Ryback as much as he's retiring and not retiring anymore, whatever. What matters is that we're going to put him on SmackDown and have him fight Roman Reigns. Yeah, you know what? I think this is a pretty good thing. WWE is a more contained environment, it has better leadership than AEW, so the wrestlers can be marks for themselves as much as they want. If the leadership says no, then you know pretty much it's no. But that aspect aside, you put him on SmackDown and you have him into a feud with the tribal chief Roman Reigns. Here's the thing, don't make him be a member of the SmackDown roster. Make him be a member of the Raw roster, but since he's such a punk and such a rebel, he wants to go to SmackDown to settle the score with Roman Reigns because Roman Reigns backtalked him or said something bad about him at some point. And here is where you have it. We're gonna build this up during the whole days until the Royal Rumble, which is in January, so there's enough time there. And we're gonna have him, give him a winning streak, okay? Make him feel important again, and give him pretty important winning streaks. Have him beat Finn Balor, Santos Escobar, whatever, you know, stuff like that. You give him a winning streak, and you have him, I don't know, once every 2 weeks come on SmackDown and cut a promo, have some vignettes so he doesn't have to travel because, duh, he might not be a workers' rights guy, but that doesn't mean we can't be. And during that whole thing, you just build up the tension of the Royal Rumble and the main event that's going to happen. It's going to be interesting, yeah? So you have him with a winning streak, you have him on SmackDown, and then the Royal Rumble happens. It's going to be the usual, you know, Roman Reigns match, but let's introduce some in-ring psychology here and there, where whenever Roman Reigns one-ups him, he's arrogant, and you know what, CM Punk kind of understands his bit and gets to respect Roman Reigns for what he's doing. Of course, you have the Bloodline intervening, because you can't, of course, and then they fight. CM Punk gets the better of Roman Reigns, ref bump, and finally Punk is there to give him the go to sleep. You can even do that. Let's do that. Punk gives the go to sleep to Roman Reigns, and as he goes to, you know, to hold his legs up, to wait for the ref to wake up and stuff like that, Seth Rollins comes, kicks him in the midsection, pedigree, and then he can do a curb stomp. Then we have Roman Reigns get up, spear him, pin him, and it's over. And here's how you start your feud with Seth Rollins. And also give an opponent to Roman Reigns, one that he really hasn't marked in a long while. And since I don't think anybody's gonna bring back Eric Rowan, to, you know, so Roman Reigns can beat him, because this will help up raise the stakes of both CM Punk, who's been gone for a while, and Roman Reigns even more. And you get your feud with Seth Rollins, which can happen at WrestleMania in April. Now, of course, there's the problem of the Elimination Chamber and the month of March, which is a long while to build a feud, but you can have them in these matches here and there, have them in tag teams, have them cut promos, have them work a little bit more into it. You have enough time since January until April to build up a good feud between these two. And that is, I think, a very good idea what you can do. Now, we can also do the mark thing where we go like, oh, you have CM Punk beat Roman Reigns, and then Damian Priest comes in and cashes on him, and whoa, new WWE Universal Undisputed Champion. But that's more booking for people like Dave Meltzer, which doesn't really work that well. Nevertheless, we build up stock for Roman Reigns again, we build up stock for CM Punk, because technically he kind of had the match won, and then we can have our Cody versus Roman Reigns feud that hopefully will end up with Cody winning at WrestleMania and, you know, completing that story. I don't believe there's any chance for Roman Reigns to lose anytime soon, but you know what, it's fun to dream, it's fun to fantasy book. I can be a mark myself, so you know what, I'm gonna indulge into that idea. But nevertheless, I think this is the most logical way to do CM Punk. Now, of course, I'm not Triple H, and Triple H might have better ideas, and by the end, the product may be better and be a better idea than anything I have, of course. But still, I think this works pretty well in building up a few people at the same time. One thing I would like to add, though, is the fact that when you have Roman Reigns feud with CM Punk, of course you're not going to have Roman Reigns there daily to cut promos with CM Punk, but you're going to have Paul Heyman. And I think the best solution for this is just to let them be free on the mic. Have Roman Reigns, or when he's there and does the promo, call CM Punk out for his worker rights guy thing, you know, the same thing that Hangman Adam Page did to him, and Eddie Kingston, by the way. Well, I think it's pretty reasonable to do it, to see how he reacts and play a bit more into that hardcore wrestling fan base, and also still keep the casual fans interested, because at the end of the day, you want the casual fans to be there, but you don't really need to ignore your hardcore fan base. At the end of the day, you want to get wrestling fans into it. And if there is a way to keep the product just as good, keep the product still going and be interesting, and get a bunch of people into it, I think that works. Have some callbacks to AEW, and I guarantee you, if you have Paul Heyman against CM Punk, it's basically going to be like that moment in AEW where they couldn't shut up about WWE, and they still can't. Hello, Bidding Wars of 2024. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But still, there is potential there, especially with these two free on the mic. Now, of course, this all hangs in the hope that CM Punk isn't as brittle as he was in AEW. It all hangs into this tiny strand that CM Punk will be able to work, what's that, I don't know, a few months straight? Like, that's kind of a hard deal. But funny enough, Samoa Joe was let out because he was injury prone. Technically he was, because Samoa Joe spent more time injured than in the wrestling ring. Now, of course, I'm exaggerating, duh, but still, look how that isn't a problem in AEW. It would be pretty funny if CM Punk got so injured in AEW, but it didn't happen in WWE, and it's like they mirror each other with injuries at this point, which would be quite funny if that happens. And I'm expecting that to happen, which is quite interesting, because then you don't really know which company is more dangerous. But nevertheless, this is my idea. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next one.